Brown here. In today's exciting episode, well, we put this workbench on wheels. But first of all, we measure up my house. We've got an architect and they need dimensions for the house, and so Jess and I are going to measure it. Welcome to another exciting episode. Now typically an architect will arrange for everything to be measured up, but I'm trying to save money and so I'm going to measure it all myself. But that means I have to double, triple check everything, because if there's any issues down the line, I only have myself to blame. So I've got my measuring tape and I've got my laser measure.
You could always just blame me.
So here's our floor plan. Did a great job, Jess, I'm proud of you. So what I'm thinking is you can fill in the measurements as I take them.
Okay.
Alright, this is one of those laser measurers. This is a Bosch one. And when you put it on one wall and you send the red dot over to the other wall, it then calculates the distance in between. And just in case this doesn't work, it hasn't failed me yet, but just in case, I'm going to use this as well. $6,790. Now we double check it with the measuring tape. Into the jib.
Like so?
Yeah. The architect basically said as long as the measurements are consistent. So we're going from jib to jib rather than going from jib to frame or frame to frame on one room and then jib to jib on another room. We've got a lot of measuring to do, Jess. Mm-hmm. One thing that we're definitely going to remove is this pelmet thing. See this? It's like a big board kind of overhanging the window, and they did that to hide the curtain rail, which is way up here. And apparently it's something to do with heat retention as well. I'm not sure about that. But
it's ugly.
Yeah.
Like, surely there are more efficient ways to have heat retention than that.
I think so.
That was what we call the bare minimum.
One other thing that we're going to do is these windows are single glazed. The glass is like maybe 4 mil thick, if that. And it's timber frame though. So on one hand, you've got the great thermal quality of timber compared to, say, aluminium. But on the other hand, you've got glass that is so thin.
And the walls aren't insulated.
And the walls aren't insulated. Yeah.
Which is common in New Zealand, not because it's not cold enough, just because people haven't done it.
Yeah. I'll actually put some footage here of a house that is built pretty much the same time as this house that we worked on. You might recognize it from past episodes. As soon as you take the plasterboard off, you can see the back of the cladding. And it's kind of weird because in some ways that is what ventilated the house. That's what stopped it getting moldy, because it was able to breathe. So they're very strict around how you insulate the external walls in case you cut off that ventilation. But anyway, the result is you take the jib off and there's the cladding.
But what we would like is a house that is both warm and dry.
Yeah, is that too much to ask? One thing that is pretty practical but not very nice is this. It's a big garage style storage cupboard. And it's basically our pantry at this point. So there's not quite enough storage to include a pantry. One thing that they did that was pretty impressive though is they integrated it into the current wall design. See here, that's the wallpaper just continuing around. It's quite an eclectic look. They even did that down here. They kept the white there just to match with the skirting. It's quite inspired. I land around the frame.
Are you always this rough?
There we go. That's more like it.
Well, I'm glad that this is the dirty washing.
Alright, now we know the thickness of this. Oh, this is much thinner. This is like, so it's about 4 mil. Now this room here is the guest room, and we're considering making it the master bedroom for a couple of reasons. One of them is that's the only external wall, so it's the only wall you've got to worry about in terms of weather, you know, insulation, double glazing, that kind of thing. Whereas the master bedroom is on the corner, external wall, external wall, external wall. And that's the dividing wall between the bedrooms. We might reconfigure the wardrobes so we can gain a bit more space for this middle room. Next up on the to-do list is to get the floor level. The finished floor level is the ground level of the house, like the top of the floorboards, and we need the finished ground level in relation to the finished floor level. And the finished ground level, on the plans, whenever an architect draws on the plans, they write FFL for finished floor level and FGL for ground level. But anyway, all that we care about is how far the ground is from the finished floor level of the house. And that gives you a rough idea of the gradient of the section. We'll figure it out with the laser level. Hard to find a good builder these days, eh? To the problem room we go. Check this out. We have floorboards. Now what we need to do is get the laser level on the top of the floorboards. Oh, these look really good. And that'll give us the most accurate point to reference off. There we go, so just set that up so it's at least getting out the window. So this builder is just can't get the job done. Alright, so I can see the laser right there. So this was in here like that, and I marked that line to line up with the laser. And then I came out here and the stick dropped. And now this line here that you can't see lines up with the laser. So all I have to do is check this distance here between the two marks, and that'll give me the difference. Clear as mud? That's what my old boss used to say to me all the time, clear as mud, you know, like it's not clear. Alright, let's do all the corners. Yeah, 8:30 to the top of slab. Four, 6, 9. Hi Jess.
How you going?
Good. I'm figuring out how far our house sticks up from the ground.
Is that the technical term?
Absolutely.
No, you're doing a great job.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to turn this into something digital. Trying.
You're doing a great job.
I don't know that I am doing a job. I have no idea what I'm doing.
6:33. I think I need more timber. We've got like an entire wall, an entire villa bay window here. This is like one of those second-hand places where you can get like second-hand weatherboards, native timbers that you can't buy brand new anymore. Let's check the other side. Well, I have no idea why they're closed, but it does remind me that something I wanted to mention in this exciting episode. Right now in New Zealand, COVID is going crazy. Like for the last 2 years, it's felt like we've been under a tsunami warning, and now the wave's finally hitting. I think it was like 14,000 cases yesterday. It's like something like 80,000 active cases. And people are on edge, and a lot of businesses are closing because they have to isolate. You know, one person gets it, then a lot of people have to isolate. I have no idea if this is related to that, but there's a lot of that going on right now. I'm gutted this place is closed. I wanted to get some native timber weatherboards. If you live in Nelson and you know where to get some native timber weatherboards, or native timber in general, let me know. I need to get some native timber for windows as well. Scott Brown double glazing, coming to an episode near you. So for anyone wondering why I haven't been doing site work, well, it's a combination of reasons, including what I just talked about. There's COVID cases all over the country, and so many construction sites are closing down because 1 or 2 people will get COVID, everyone else is close contacts, they have to get tested, they have to isolate. Right now is a tricky time for everyone. But yeah, it's not just the COVID thing, it's also materials. Getting materials is a huge problem here in New Zealand at the moment. When like a packet of timber comes into placemakers, for example, it's gone, you know, straight away. People find out it's there and they just flood in and grab it. And plasterboard's the same. People are stocking up on plasterboard as soon as they can get a hold of it, even if they don't need it, just out of fear that, you know, they're not going to be able to get it when they do need it. So that makes it really difficult for the kind of building I do, you know, renovating houses, because you often don't know what you need. You know you're going to be using some framing and plasterboard, but you don't know how much until you start pulling the house apart. So I'm going to have to start stocking up on some materials for our house as we figure out the planning stages. I'm going to need more storage, I think. Anyway, we'll have a look at that in a sec. What I'm going to build now is a frame that supports this workbench and allows me to move it around the garage easily. It's going to be on wheels. I glued and laminated timber together yesterday. See this here? So I couldn't get a piece of timber that was this thick, so I've laminated 2 together. But when I glued it together, I guess it went out of place, so I'm going to try and straighten it. Laminated posts. That's what these are. I tried to get the smoothest timber that I could get. That's why I'm not using like regular 4x2, things like that. When you cut it and measure and all that, everything's a bit more uniform. This is gonna be really simple. It's gonna be 4 posts on each corner, a couple of boards going this way to stabilize it, and then 1 board down the middle to stop the legs going like that. And they're all gonna sit on that. I'm getting very fancy here and doing some mortise and tenon join. More like for practice reasons. Maybe I'll do some furniture in the future on the house, and hey, why not try a rough version on the bench? And already I can see this is a very rough version. Don't judge me, okay? Alright, that's gonna go. It's a beautiful morning here in sunny Nelson. I've just been sanding my little frame here, got a few pencil marks to rub out, and then we're done. I've got myself a little cart. Okay, let's put this thing together. Okay. Look at that. See, I can wheel it down the driveway. How portable is that?
Nice! You were hopping on it, eh?
Yeah.
Is it supposed to do that?
No. I need to add a horizontal. Anyway.
You did a great job.
Thanks, Jess.
Yeah.